and hello and welcome back to the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast in the world that is a complete shit show. I am Turch, and with me is my co-host and CEO and the man full of chocolate. It's Kieran. How you doing, buddy?
I am full of chocolate, which will be turned into shit.
Oh, God.
Very soon.
Fucking hell.
This podcast is full of shit.
It's a shit show, not full of shit.
Oh, wow. Well, there will be a shit show. If I put chili with it, right? You know, eat a whole chili and chocolate, my God. Now, if we had some beer, whew.
Splatterfest 4000 over
And
here.
with us this week is our good friend and returning guest. It's Niall. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on? Thanks for
Jesus
having me.
Christ, what a
Everyone's tuned out now. We started talking about shit. They've turned the podcast off. They're not listening anymore.
See, you
That's
gotta-
it.
you gotta-
Good night, everyone. Well done.
You got to
See
lose
you
the
next
audience and bring them back in. Get the old Bill Burr back.
Yeah, that's right,
Lose them,
that's
bring
right.
them back in.
Gonna bring it back with the ladies. God damn it! Oh, what? I don't know how you do it.
What?
It's sad that we can only do one take on this show because goddamn, I would have loved to restart that one. But nonetheless,
That was a great opening.
thank you. I did it really well.
No, I'm talking about my opening, not your opening.
Oh, I don't want to talk about your openings because I know what's coming out of there.
Hey-oh.
Anyway, it's been a big week in news. We've sort of been.
What
delayed
kind of
with this
poos
episode.
do you do?
It's been a big week in news. It's been a big week in news. Believe it or not, we did miss out on last week's episode of releasing an episode because we were a bit delayed with some personal issues that we've had on this show. Well,
Yeah.
mainly because we couldn't get Skype to work, and that was very frustrating.
That was very frustrating.
But nonetheless, we're doing this one here.
Hey,
Yes.
that was at my end, the NBN. I've got an NBN representative right here. What happened?
It's the NBN, mate.
We're working towards 8 million happy homes, Kieran. That's all I can say.
You're the 8 million and first. Nonetheless, but we do have Niall in the studio today with us, and it's nice to actually have him in the studio. We haven't had too many guests in the studio, but we should have more.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we do have Niall with us today, and apparently he's brought in a bit of something he wants to rant about. So Niall, why don't you take us away? Take us on the journey of your rant.
I'll take you on a journey, all right? This is something close to home. Yeah, it's something that's kind of hit home for me. And it's a group of people that I really dislike. Quite frankly, I think they're overrated and weird. And I hope someone just punts them in the back of the head at least once.
Okay.
Punts or punch?
I'd be happy with both.
What the hell is a punt?
punt.
Punt.
Like a kick.
Oh.
I can show you what a punt is, Karen. Wait till after the episode. This particular group of people, I really don't like them.
This is getting real racial here.
No.
I'm really worried.
No, it's
the end
sad.
of the shows.
Trust me, it's sadder than that. Twins. Twins. I don't like them.
Okay, let's put this in perspective for the lovely audience that's listening. You are a twin.
Yes, you actually reviewed an episode last week that featured my twin brother.
That's right, we certainly did, and it was a great time.
He's okay. He's my walking organ donor. I got to keep him in tip-top shape. He got a pair of lungs on him. That's all I'm saying.
It's true.
But yeah, twins, especially the ones that dress the same. I lose my mind. I was walking through Melbourne Central Friday night,
Okay.
as I do, and I saw a pair of ladies. They were like late 40s, early 50s, dressed exactly the same, hair exactly the same. I just want to yell out, live your own life. You're different people. It's okay. You're individuals.
That's whispering.
I know.
That's not yelling.
I want to Karen.
It's the internal monologue.
Yeah,
of
this
Niall.
is how I think. I don't like Kieran. I wish I could punt him. Sorry, I think I said that.
That's actually the reviews of the episode.
But actually,
So, I never got the fascination. Like, I get as kids, like, I know the parents do dress up their twins like the same.
oh yeah,
And sometimes, like, you know, if they're a year apart, like kids are a year apart or 2 years apart, they sort of dress them similar.
we call them fake twins.
Yeah, fake twins. But I don't understand, like, when you get to a certain age, dressing the same seems like it's not something you want to do.
Seems exhausting. And the reason why I brought this up, not just Friday night, last week in France, they had a twin festival. The 25th annual twin festival.
And you haven't been?
I haven't... mate. I'm not going to this thing. I don't want to go. And if you invite me, I'm going to start swinging. not a violent man. I'm a peaceful man. You guys know me. Never hurt anyone. I'm going to hurt Kieran after the episode.
I've known Niall for a very long time. And I can vouch that since you were 10...
You still haven't beat the shit out of Niall.
You've never worn the same clothes as your brother.
Oh,
You have walked out of each of your rooms and been almost dressed the same, and it's just like you've got to change. Like you're not getting. I know.
How'd you get away with that at high school? Because we all had to wear the same uniform. That must have been very annoying.
That's okay. That's okay. He had the long hair. I had the shaved head. Now he's got a shaved head and a beard, just like me. I tell you what, it really grinds my gears. I'm not happy about it.
I think
They're in their 40s. They don't give a fuck anymore.
the question would have been if they were both single, because that would have been even creepier.
Oh my god! Have you guys ever seen The Shining?
Yeah. Like that, except fully grown women that are in their 40s.
Yes.
I kept thinking of those, there was a set of twins I remember reading ages ago, and they wanted to look exactly the same, but look like Barbie dolls exactly the same. And they were both dating the same man, and they both wanted to be married to the same man. I thought that was super weird.
I think that's just called the male experience, am I right? Hey-yo. Pew, 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 pew.
I believe technically,
Yeah.
if the female marries the man, they can do that. But the man can't marry again.
Right.
So each female has to marry the man.
Just a note for the listeners, Kieran is training to be a celebrant, so...
I don't think... There's something in that way that you said it, it's still wrong.
When I get my celebrant license and I conduct my first wedding,
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. A live wedding on the podcast.
Look, that's why we have to get... That's what we're really looking for when we do this. We've done this whole show. This is the 71st episode of this show.
Oh,
amazing that... You know what? People go, how many episodes have you done? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be our 70th episode we just released. And people go, you've been doing it for that long? You've been able to keep Kieran doing something consistently for that long? And I've got to admit...
That is something to put on your CV. That is management. That is high tier management.
High tier management. I'm very impressed with myself.
Fuck, I think you need to go on a TED Talk and just tell people how you do that.
You know what? I've always wanted to bring TED Talks in as a rant because I think at one stage they were very valuable.
At one stage, and
now it's the worst thing. Like it's just people advertising their businesses,
Oh, yeah.
and it's useless. The best TED Talk though is always going to be Sam Hyde's. So Sam Hyde's is a comedian. He had a TV show and all this sort of stuff, and he's like, I want to do a TED Talk. And he rocks up to this TED Talk about what the future holds, pretending to be a futurist.
Oh, okay.
And rocks up in plastic Roman gear. And spends the first 5 minutes catching his breath because he ran up a flight of stairs and asking for water. And then he talks about like everyone in the future, everyone's going to be mandatory gay. And it's fantastic. I'm going to show you after the show. It's a fantastic TED Talk. But TED Talks are just absolutely useless. I hate them. I think they're the worst things ever. And if someone wanted to torture me, that's how you'd probably start doing it. But nonetheless,
Gonna lock you in a room and play TED Talks.
it'd be pretty bad. Definitely. Because I know that one day that you, Kieran, are going to do a TED Talk
Oh, fuck
somewhere.
yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
that's going to be the worst experience that anyone's going to have.
I'm gonna
Make
flag
you come
it.
to my TED Talk.
I'm going to flag it for hate speech, no matter the topic.
Look, I already know how you're going to start it off. It starts off with Bob and Jane. And it's all going to be downhill from there. We already know. We've experienced just a taste of this before.
I was like, because I know I did that right, and I know that exists out on the YouTube.
YouTube sphere, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'll never mention this. I'll never mention this. My mates will never know that I did this talk. This talk.
And you know what?
And then I get a message from our good friend Traj.
Yeah.
when it just says Bob and Jane, and because I was coming to see you guys a bit later that night, and I've just gone,
Shit.
oh, fuck.
And you didn't want to see us anymore after that.
I was just like, fuck. That was, it was a good talk though.
It was good fun.
It was good.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
It was
There
good
you
fun.
go. I can talk in under 3 minutes.
I wish you were talking under 2 seconds, but there you go.
And yet we do an hour podcast. I'm very sorry, everyone that's had to listen to this. But nonetheless, I do have a story and a rant for you guys. And a sad story, something
Gather round, children.
that's been hitting, Look, I've been playing music for about nearly 20 years, which is a very long time.
Don't rub it in.
Thank you. But, recordings and history of music and, an understanding of music is something I've always been very passionate about. And I love learning about music and I love learning about the history of it and how they, and about any artist. Doesn't matter if it's jazz, if it's musicals, if it's rock and roll.
Country or western.
Both types of music.
Both types of music, exactly right. But I've always just loved it. And recently, something has come out in the news about the Universal Music Group. Now, do you know anything about the Universal Music Group?
It's one of the largest music groups in the universe.
Some would say they're universal.
Yeah, exactly right. And you're both exactly right. Funnily, despite the fact you're making jokes about it, you're actually very much right. It is the biggest one of the biggest recording labels on earth with Sony and stuff like that. But it's one of the biggest ones on earth. They've recorded artists back from the 1940s, 1930s, all the way up to present day. And they're still recording stuff, still doing all that sort of stuff. And they've got this huge catalogue of not only artists that you've not heard of, but artists that are like the biggest rock stars and musicians in the history of the world. Amazing.
So Michael Jackson.
No, Sony owned Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'll get to who Universal Music has later. But I need to tell you a little story about what came out in the news only this year. In 2008, on June 1st, 2008 to be precise, a fire blazed through part of the back lot of the Universal Studios Hollywood. And in that fire, it was initially reported that 175,000 master recordings from artists were lost. And there was no report of it at the time.
There was no what?
No report of it at the time in the news.
Okay, yeah, all right.
100.
They must have been their day off.
Yeah, well, because they obviously had nothing else to report on, except for one of the biggest losses in music history.
There was a financial crash.
Did they save the Creedence tapes?
Well, we'll get to that, funnily enough. But, so in 2013, some light starts to come about, because Bryan Adams...
So 7 years after.
7 years after, Bryan Adams contacts UMG to get some of his master tracks so he can remaster a classic record of his.
Mm-hmm. Universal Music Group, UMG.
Yeah, UMG. And he was told that the Universal Music Group have no master tracks or recordings of his stuff.
Oh.
And he's like, well, that's very strange because, you recorded me. You should have all my backlog of stuff, from posters to recordings to photos, everything.
And really, in the year 2000, when the internet started to become mainstream, they should have backed it up.
Well, exactly right. You can't really back up tape.
It's analog.
It's analog?
You digitalize it.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Do you not know how the internet works?
I do know how the internet
I don't
works.
think you do.
You digitalize it.
Well, look, and I think this is... I knew you would talk about this.
You buff it out. You buff it out. That's what you do.
Okay.
How you gonna buff this?
Okay. So when you record... look, you're the type of guy that bought a CD cleaner. Or a CD repair. Remember those things? You put the CD in and it magically repairs it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
would have been one of those guys that bought that.
I never bought that, but I did use them.
I was there. I witnessed it. Yeah, boy, let's get this podcast back on track.
Nonetheless. So I need to explain to you guys what a master track is. So back in the day...
I think you do, because I'm like, why isn't it digitalized?
Back in the day, up until about mid to late 90s, music wasn't recorded to a digital workstation like we're using now for the podcast. Every track was recorded to a piece of tape. So now we're using a 4-track recorder.
Yeah.
Which means we can have 4 separate microphones with 4 separate tracks on our master recording software. Back in the day, they had 1 or 2 or 4 tracks or 8 tracks, up to 16 as time went on, stuff like 32 and 64 and stuff like that. But each track would record to the same piece of tape. So to make a music thing, you would record the guitars through one track, record it on one tape, and that would be your master tape for that guitar track. And to master the song, you would have let's say the drum track. The drum track would come through number 2, and then you would record 1 and 2 at the same time, and that would mix together onto another piece of tape.
You're saying it's back when you wanted to go on a road trip, and you would, when the song came on the radio, you'd get your tape and you'd put your tape in and you'd press record next to the radio, so you've got that song for when you have your car trip.
Yeah, except it's the actual road Jimmy
trip.
Page from Led Zeppelin recording his guitar.
Very, very similar. Very
similar, yeah. But basically,
some of our listeners are American.
Some of our Americans that we got locked up.
aren't that clever. Maybe someone from Sydney as well.
Wow.
So we've got to explain this.
God damn it, I'm trying my best. It seems like you have a fundamental understanding of not understanding. Nonetheless, the recordings of those master tracks are the best quality version, the highest fidelity, everything like that, of the individual tracks and the master overall track of a song. Any song. It doesn't matter.
So it's 4K, that's what you're saying. It's the equivalent of 4K today.
It's the audio version.
4K ultra high definition.
It's the audio version of about 16K.
Okay.
Like, it's super amazing.
That's
It's
pretty
the best.
amazing.
It's amazing. But every time you record it from downgrade down to your vinyl or your CD and stuff, you actually lose a lot of that information, because digitization of stuff from tape just takes a sample rate. So every second, that's why you see sometimes 128 kps or 256 kps. What it does is every second it takes 128 or 256 or 320 samples of that second of audio. Now, the more samples, the better. And when you start to get to about 320, that's when your ear really can't tell the difference. Like, there is a threshold, but that means the file size gets bigger. So we're talking like a file from a tape, if you were to convert it to digital in its purest form, might be 2 or 3 gigabytes for a song.
Oh, that's
and
fine.
that's why MP3 was invented.
Yeah, you click enhance and, you're on your way.
That's how it works, right? But that's what Universal Music Studio lost when the fire happened. They lost those master tracks. That means if you were to say, hey, I'm an artist, I want to remaster my songs, I want to give it to a really cool new producer, convert it into a digital, get those tracks, remaster them, and release that album again. You can never do that. You can only remaster the songs from an inferior version of those master tracks.
So I'm going to have the same shitty copy of Summer of 69 forever.
That's right.
Why doesn't he just re-record?
Because it's not the same. Recording's an art form. You can't capture the moment that you captured, 50 or 20 years ago. That's why we only do one take.
No, we only do one take because we're lazy.
Well, that's potentially a different story altogether. You'll never be able to capture, the lead singer of Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. You'll never be able to capture him do that scream he does at the beginning of Number of the Beast again. Because that was after 30 or 40 or 50 takes of him trying to get it right and him getting angry and angry and angrier. You'll never be able to get, the scream that the singer from The Who does in Baba O'Reilly again. That's just impossible. Who are you? You'll never be able to capture, you'll never be able to recreate that. Even the solos, even the drum parts, you'll never be able to recreate that because that was that time period.
I was at a party a few weeks ago. Niall was there with me. And, oh no, maybe it was you. I can't remember.
Yeah, we're interchangeable.
And someone was talking about coding music.
Right.
Right. And I didn't quite get it.
Right.
No shit.
But I don't think it's lost. I think someone could just write the code for that scream. Yeah. And then you've got it.
Oh my God.
You've got it.
This is like
This is
This is like the worst.
this is the formings and the rumblings of the saddest TED talk
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
ever.
Okay, look. So they lost.
There's a TED talk. Digitalizing music. How to code.
Boo.
Yeah, you know what? Oh my god, I can't even explain what's wrong with that.
Oh,
It's just
dude.
amazing. But nonetheless, so that's what they lost.
I'm sorry to all the music people listening
I know,
to this.
I
I
know.
must be so frustrated.
It is
It's
the
not
worst
just
thing.
them,
I must
Kieran.
say, I want to. You know what? We're gonna go punt him when this is done. So let me just go through a number of artists that are bigger that Kieran will know, and the history that has been lost because of this fire. Louis Armstrong, Asia, Soundgarden and Audioslave, Captain Beefheart, Blink-182, The Eagles, Eminem, John Fogerty, Guns N' Roses, Buddy Holly, B.B. King and John Lee Hooker, Elton John, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Meatloaf, Dolly Parton, The Police, Primus, Semisonic, The Who, Rob Zombie, Nirvana, Hole, Beck, Eric Clapton, Barry White, Neil Diamond, Aerosmith and Steely Dan. They lost all of their recordings that were part of
God
were
damn
in
it.
that fire. And this is a selection of 175,000 master recordings,
And they had no backups.
which they lost. And they had no backups.
That seems stupid.
Well, no tape backups, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Maybe potentially digital, but the tapes is what's worth the money.
Yeah.
That's where you think is.
I could tell you that the tape, the original tape, is
Yeah.
what you want.
Exactly right. So, what's happening right now is that a class action lawsuit has happened to the state of Tupac and Tom Petty, and from the guys from Soundgarden and Hole. They're all accusing UMG of breach of contract, of failing to protect their property and failing to store it in, and try to get some insurance and not actually
non-flammable
giving them any of
environment.
the insurance and legal fees that they got from their, backing up. And each one is asking for compensation of $100 million, which, for music history, is absolutely no money. There's a second part of this, which is going to which frustrated me even more. If you haven't got the master tracks, you can't remaster songs. That's very important. If you haven't got the master tracks, you legally don't own the right to the songs. Which means that if YouTube, who are now going to be working in conjunction with UMG to remaster the audio and the visuals of all their songs on YouTube, of their artists,
Yeah, okay.
of their video clips, so remastering their audio and visuals, you can see a bit of an issue here.
Digitalize it.
But they have.
For the 25th century.
Wait a second. But what are they digitizing if they don't have the master tracks?
Uh-huh.
Oh!
They-
Uh-oh.
you click enhance.
It doesn't work like that!
No, that's why. Think of it in the simplest form, which is me. You click enhance, it does its thing. It makes it. It's like when you're.
But you have nothing to enhance. There's no audio.
You digitalize it.
But what?
I don't know.
Exactly right. And that's what I'm explaining. There's nothing for them. So what they're getting is now is an already mastered audio version in a digitized format taken from the original source, and they're remastering that, which means the audio quality and the fidelity and the highs and lows and the EQ and all this sort of stuff, the compression, the dynamics, all that, you're losing it in another step. So they're remastering these tracks from already remastered tracks, which means it's gonna sound even worse.
Or
You're wrong. Whatever you're gonna say.
no. Psychology, people might be tricked into thinking it sounds better.
Psychology people.
No, they might
You.
use psychology, and people think that it sounds better because they see that it's enhanced, or digitalized, or remastered.
None of those things make it better. I mean, I can remaster the.
It's like when people drink wine and they think it comes out of a fancy bottle, and they're like, "Oh, that's much better than this crappy wine, which is the same wine
I don't know
in a
enough.
crappy bottle."
I don't know enough about wine to comment on that, but
some weird
I can
analogies.
I can remaster the song, our intro song, and make it sound like garbage. I can EQ the shit out of it. I can remaster the volumes, this and that, and you will notice a distinction. But if I get the track that already exists, instead of using the actual individual tracks of the guitar parts and this and that, if I just get the audio that's there and then EQ it, you'll notice it too. One will sound far superior than the other, despite the fact I'm working on them and trying to get them to sound the best that they can. And that's what I'm saying here. If they don't own the actual master tracks, there's a legal requirement of them owning it for them to claim any copyright.
So they can't claim copyright.
Well, that's a potential that could happen. Unless they go, yeah, we have the master tape or a backup of the master tape or potentially a digital version, but that's not what they're basing the recordings off.
Okay.
And that's...
You seem quite upset about this.
I'm very upset about it because they've lost...
Did you notice that, Niall?
I would say it was slightly miffed, yes.
Yeah.
It's... Look, I know.
Keep your composure, for God's sake.
Very much trying to. But look, they're demonetizing videos on YouTube as well that are using some of these songs, which is a ridiculous sort of thing. Even you can't even use them as a critique. So if you get a song and you want to critique it or analyze it, this and that, you can't actually play clips from it as well. So some of my favorite music YouTubers who go, yeah, we're going to look at this section of a piece of music that's really cool by Soundgarden or this and that or whatever. UMG, not Soundgarden themselves. UMG just go, no, you can't do that. Well, okay, that's great, but you've just told me now it's just come out that you don't even have the master tracks of the audio. What claim do they have for you to take my video down?
So, this could be a positive for the YouTubers, you're saying?
Well, it's only if the YouTubers start fighting it back. But is it worth it?
I'd say in the long run, yes, it would be.
Well, you have to get the biggest YouTubers that are doing music and stuff
I
like that.
reckon if we tweeted PewDiePie, he'd help us out.
Well, you know, he got
The
married.
fuck is
He
PewDiePie?
did.
Ugh, fucking boomer over there.
Oh my God. Oh, he's starting to floss. He's doing the dance. Kieran, please stop, please. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, watch him whip a nay.
For
That's bringing that one back.
fuck's sake.
But yeah, so look, I don't even know what to say anymore about this sort of stuff. They can't remaster things that have been remastered. They're demonetizing videos, and the fact that they've lost, 50 years of music, more so. Probably about 80 to 90 years of not only music history, but American music history, world music history, and music that's universally admired to be some of the best music produced by the human race. I mean, we've sent songs from Buddy Holly into space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've done that. The Who is considered one to be one of the greatest rock bands of all time.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of The Who.
Oh, you got no taste.
Don't you watch CSI?
Yeah.
Who, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's
I wouldn't be a fan if you sung again.
Yeah.
Who.
So, very sad day for music. I'm very frustrated by it. It's cause
No.
it's
He's not that bad of a
Wait.
singer.
So,
subjective.
when did this become public knowledge?
Only this 2 weeks ago.
Wow, I'm pretty impressed that they contained it for that long.
Well, the initial part of it said only like 10,000 things were lost.
Yeah.
And now
Only
it's
10,000. Jesus Christ.
yeah, I know. And then it said now it's come up like it was 175,000, like I said, the initial thing, a part of this rant story stuff. And now it's like 300,000.
Would you equate this as the BP oil spill of music?
It's probably worse because you can clean the ocean. You can't get Buddy Holly alive to record his guitar again.
The currently raging Amazon fire of music.
No, the forests regrow.
What's the Amazon though?
It regrows.
Oh, okay.
You can't resurrect the
A
dead.
slightly worse BP oil spill, alright? Just give me that.
As a musician, this is one of the worst things that could ever happen.
Chernobyl, come on.
It didn't affect the musicians.
Oh, God. Can't get a win here.
But yeah, it's pretty bad. Like,
That's pretty bad.
Maybe it's
Sorry, Chernobyl. It was pretty bad, I guess.
pretty bad. You know?
Fukushima.
Say,
Again,
no
I don't know.
swearing. Jesus.
I don't know if that affected the music community, but yes,
This fucking guy.
was bad. For me, this is worse.
Look, there were some musicians in Chernobyl, and there were some
Where?
there were some musicians in Fukushima.
Wow, that's first.
Statistically, there just had to be.
Karen, just press enhance and shut the hell up.
Oh,
I'm sorry for your loss.
thank you. It's about time someone said something nice to me.
What?
Kieran, you got some news for us.
Yes, continuing on the fart and poo theme.
Oh, god damn it.
What? I got look. You've brought the listeners down. They're so depressed
I'm very
now.
sorry. It's all
They're
right.
so
I got
depressed.
a new bit. I got a new bit coming up, so I'm very excited.
So I thought I'd lift them back up.
Bring us back up, Kieran.
You can now. We love science on this show.
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Stop
whatever.
music, sorry. We can lose millions of...
We're about lukewarm on music.
Oh, that's right. Nonetheless, go on.
Well, science has done an amazing thing for all of us. You can now track your fart development in real time on your phone. This is the articles I bring in, quality. Scientists often hope to break ground with their research. That's very true.
I would say break wins, but whatever.
But a group of Australian researchers would like to be happy with breaking wind. Got in there. The team has developed an ingestible electronic capsule to monitor gas levels within the human gut. And it is paired with a pocket-sized receiver and a mobile phone app. The pill reports tailwind conditions.
So sorry, these guys sound like failed meteorologists.
In real time as it passes from the stomach to the colon. The authors are optimistic that the capsule's gas readings can help clear the air over the inner workings of the intricate innards and the multitudes of microbes that they contain.
Yep.
There you go. Peeping the electric pill is a breeze in comparison.
So wait, how does the pill, like if it's monitoring farts, like
Yeah.
farts
Real time.
in real time?
You get an app. You can check it out.
Does that mean you have to keep...
You swallow the pill,
Yeah, but like...
and then
would
you can
eventually-
check out your fart development
would
in real
eventually
time.
poo it out.
You do.
So do you take the same pill? Like you have to wash it?
Probably. Put it in the
It's
dishwasher.
like those coffee beans people have.
That's I don't know if that's...
Sounds pretty fucking gross, but
Is this taxpayer funded research?
I don't know.
Like, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
need an
worried
app
about.
to.
You could probably get an alert on your phone.
Oh,
I'm about to
hey,
fart.
hey, I don't need
I
an app on my
don't
phone
need
to
an
know
app on my
that
phone.
I'm about to blow out a fucking room. All right, I'll be polite and warn people.
See, I think the app should be like everyone. I've got a Fitbit, and
Yeah.
me and Jess like can message each other through like Jess did 10,000 steps or something like that. That's what it should be. Like your whole family should take the pill, and everyone on the same app, and that way when your dad or your brother is going to do one, and that way you can tell them to leave the room.
All I see is some really gross competitions.
Yeah, that's true. How many did you do today? 52, motherfucker.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? It could be the annual fart competition.
I'm sure there is one.
Yeah,
If there is one, especially in Australia, we're going to go and commentate.
milk, beer, and
Fajitas.
yeah, and I'll be ready.
Oh, that's just not good. I don't know how we get to this part of this. Anyway, Kieran, I've got a new bit for this podcast. I call it Tell Them They're Dreaming.
All right, tell them they're dreaming.
So it's a reference, if people don't know.
Tell them they're dreaming.
Tell Them They're Dreaming. That's a reference to an Australian film called The Castle, and where the son would read out the, what do you call it, like the for sale stuff in the back of the...
Trading post.
Trading post.
Currently, the castle is on Stan.
Apparently, oh, there we go. If only the dishwash.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I had to download the dish. And actually pay for
Nonetheless, so that reference is from The Castle. The son would always say, "Hey, Dad, this is available." So like jousting sticks.
it. Yeah.
The dad would ask the price. The son would say the price, and then the dad would just go, "Tell him is dreaming," as in that is way too expensive for the product. That's
All right. When I edit this, I'm just going to play the clip.
Yeah, please do. Nonetheless, so Jess got me onto this northern suburbs of Melbourne, Australia buy swap sell, and I've been having a ball because people are fucking insane about the things that they'll sell. So I just picked 3 things that I found over the week that really encapsulated what people try to do with the selling. So here's the first thing. I won't say who did it, but I'm sure you can look it up. So this is, and we're going to play a fun game. You're going to guess how much you think the thing is, what they're trying to sell.
What they're trying to sell it.
No. How much they think they're going to try and sell it for?
It's like the price is right.
Like the price is right. Okay, so this is a toilet seat plus bin pickup northern suburbs. That is the title.
Toilet seat plus bin.
Toilet set.
Oh, set.
Seat set plus bin. My mistake. There it is there. I'm sure you can all see the lovely toilet set.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically the plunger in a silver casing, toilet roll holder, and a plastic bin. How much do you think this person is asking for?
$29.95.
$29.95?
$39.95.
$35. Kieran is the closest, but he did go over. It was only $10.
What?
But I was thinking to myself, if it's $10, just chuck it out. It's pickup only.
Yeah, people want to make.
You just get it when you go to Kmart.
It's a Kmart pickup.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I thought that's a good start. But let's go to the next thing. Again, closest without going over Price is Right rules, which are the best rules.
Yeah.
Okay, this person is selling an X-store mannequin. It's 6 foot and size 8. It's a woman mannequin, as you can see by the breasts.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's lovely. She's got a head,
Yeah.
body, the snap. It is 6 foot tall, which is very tall for a woman, and it is size 8. How much do you think this person is trying to sell this mannequin for?
$30.
$30. It's X display, remember?
Ooh, I'm gonna say $20.
$20. No, 100. Kieran, it takes it. It's $100.
Yo, no, fuck off.
God damn it!
$100. This person is asking for this X mannequin.
Oh, shit.
Very exciting times.
I realised that I said $29.95 before, and I didn't really change my answer
No.
to
You really
$30.
Very exciting times in the land of the.
That's 2 to me.
It's
none
one to you. One to you.
to Niall.
Okay, so this one here.
Keep talking, Kieran.
This one here, we can't play the game with this one here because this person describes exactly what they want. It's more of a trade. So, Kieran, you've definitely won the competition. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For this. But this one here,
I win a chocolate.
you can win a chocolate. This one here caught my eye because of what she wanted, what it is, and how she decided to describe it and measure it. So, looking to trade this rug for a, in brackets, half decent bottle of Shiraz or a plant.
Well, hang on. It is buy, swap, or trade.
That's right. Buy,
Most
sell,
people
swap.
just want to buy.
That's right.
It's like trick or treat.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so she goes, yeah, she's looking to swap the rug for a half decent bottle of Shiraz or a plant. Very two opposite ends of the spectrum here. Let's start with that. And then he goes, FYI, it's been in a house with cats. I vacuumed like hell, but best not apply if you're allergic. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Next one. Pick up near Post Office Hotel, Coburg. Okay, so now I'm going to have to... can't go to a house to pick up the rug.
Yeah.
And trade for a plant or a bottle of Shiraz. I have to go to a hotel. Very weird.
Yeah.
I can't. Then, this is my favorite thing. I think girls do this. Guys don't do this. Mm. And you'll see why. I think girls are very susceptible to what I'm about to read.
Okay.
No idea of dimensions. Oh, it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. But size 6 slipper for context. So
How big is it? It's about 6 slippers.
this person is selling this rug. As you can see here, Kieran, is selling the rug, and in the first photo, there's a slipper. Which
Fuck that! I want to buy the slipper.
I don't know.
I don't know what size her slipper is.
It says size 6 slipper.
Oh, okay. Oh.
But I don't know if that really gives you any sort of additional context. It's sort of just there. And you know what? A guy would have...
It's about 6 beers away.
yeah, 3.5 walking sticks. Like who knows? A guy would have just gone, oh, you know what? It looks to be about 2.5, maybe 3 meters. Step us about 1 meter. I'll work it out. Or they go, you know what? Maybe I'll just grab a tape measure. Maybe on the back of the thing, it might say the size. Like, sometimes things say the size of things, like clothing. It says small, medium, large. Things on the back of rugs, I'm assuming, would say X dimensions.
Yeah.
But no, she decided to swap this rug for either a semi-good bottle of Shiraz or a plant. She vacuumed the hell out of it because it was around cats. It has to be picked up from...
Does she have to pick up the wine, though? I'd be like, I'll take the rug, but you're going to come pick up... You're picking up the wine or plant.
From another place.
Yeah. I'll leave it here at post office.
And then for size, a size 6 slipper to sort of give you the dimensions. Which, I'm just looking at it, I don't know if it really helps me decipher the size, but I would say it's like, 3x4. 3x4 meters.
And you can't quite work it out on the photo because you've got to remember, as you go further away, you've got to make the slipper a little bit smaller.
Look, I was very busy with Photoshop and I tried to work it out. But I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not even interested in the rug. The mannequin, though, is coming next week, baby!
God damn it.
You can get a nice rug from IKEA.
That's right.
Kmart.
For the same price as a bottle of Shiraz. Or
There is a place in Northcote that does rugs and tours.
Rug tours?
Oh, yeah, opposite the kebab place.
Yeah. Rugs and tours.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go. Check it out.
Is it run by Aladdin? What's going on?
Yeah, it's very Aladdin-y.
Oh, yeah. What's that mean, Kieran?
Monkey hair everywhere. What can I...
And the tours are to the Persian.
To the Persian
area.
Isn't Persia like Iran?
Yeah.
Just for our listeners at home, Kieran couldn't be any wider than he is.
What?
Fantastic. So that was my new bit. I hope you liked it. I'm sure I'll bring it in another time I find 3 more fantastic things.
That is fantastic. I like that bit.
As
Niall has an article for us.
Does he?
I don't.
He's here for comedic value.
Hey, I'm the guest. I brought the chocolates. You bring the bits.
Oh, you're supposed to bring in a.
Am I now?
Well, how about we talk about Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh,
I don't know about you guys. Well, I might be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. No, wait. I'm pretty sure he committed suicide. I think it was all natural what just happened.
What?
All natural. I don't think anything strange happened with this gentleman here.
I want to give you my thoughts.
Well,
Gather round, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
You know what? People might not know who Jeffrey Epstein is. How about we give him a bit of a tour of his lovely life?
Take us on a journey.
okay.
So he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Well, was a multimillionaire. He'd recently just committed suicide. And he's a convicted...
Well, he was a billionaire, wasn't he?
yeah, we got to that
Yeah,
stage.
he got from multi-millionaire to a billionaire.
Well, at the end of his thing, I just saw his report. He had value in stock and other assets, and this of just over $500 million. $500,000. $500 million.
Yeah,
that's what he had, give or take. Anyway, multi-millionaire, almost a billionaire, convicted sex offender, and in 2019 was arrested again for sex trafficking of minors. He made his millions from an investment banking. Started at Bear Stearns, and then he made his own firm called J. Epstein and Co. At this point is where he was a part of the Tower Financial Corporation, which was the just after he left, found out to be the biggest Ponzi scheme on earth. And then he left the company before it collapsed, and the owner states that Epstein set it all up. He left his money run. But then he decided to make his own investment banking firm, and in a space of a week, he managed to have over $1 billion net worth. His biggest client, Leslie Wexner, the chairman and CEO of L Brands and Victoria's Secret.
yeah.
And he moved the company to the US Virgin Islands as a tax haven, reducing his tax by 90%. Smart man.
I've caught 3 Ubers this week, and I've told them that they pay too much tax.
Very good. Went to my accountant this week.
They've all 3 Uber drivers have had a lecture off me, and they can't go anywhere. Captive audience. I've loved it. You also forgot he was a primary school teacher.
He was at the beginning.
At the very beginning.
Which is even more sus
Yeah.
for what he did later on. And in 2005, that's when he was convicted of his first crimes. So apparently a 14-year-old had been taken to the Epstein mansion and paid $300 to strip and massage Epstein. A 13-month investigation occurred with the FBI involved, and they found 5 victims and 17 witnesses to what happened.
17 witnesses?
Yes.
Jesus, that's like 3 basketball teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
Victims performed oral sex and sexual acts with Epstein, and all of them were underage. The cops stated that he allegedly lent underage girls to prominent people, including the biggest name that they stated at the time was Prince Andrew, who's back in the media in regards to that sort of thing. And the final number of this case here in 2005, was 30 more minors were victims. 34.
Which he basically got house arrest for.
Well, he was then convicted in 2008. He did not go to prison, as you just stated. Instead, he went on house arrest and was allowed to leave after 3.5 months on being on work release. So basically, he could work all day, go out and do stuff, and then when he went home, he wasn't allowed to leave until he had to go to work again. Which sounds like my life.
I think that sounds like most people's life. So in other words, he couldn't on the weekend go out.
Yes, but he could have people over.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he had to go fly for business.
Yeah.
So he could go fly for 3 months in Europe.
Yeah, for business.
Yeah. And then come home.
How did he do it? How did he
Tough.
cope?
Tough.
House arrest is tough, yeah.
Very tough, yeah. Especially when you're not even a convicted sex offender in New Mexico, which he wasn't up until his death.
So, but those convictions didn't really impact his business.
No, he actually made more money.
It was kept under the wraps.
That's right.
It was not.
Why is he in the news more recently? If this happened so long ago.
Yeah.
That's because he was arrested again in 2019 on July the 9th for sex trafficking. He was charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy to do so. And the judge at the time, Kenneth Murrah, I think that's what I've written here, was decided whether the non-prosecution's agreement was valid. Bail was requested at $600 million, and so he could live at his house, and that was denied at the end. Mm-hmm. So he had to live in prison, and then on the 23rd of July, he attempted suicide for the first time in prison. Now that's really interesting, because then we'll get to his suicide. But I thought I'd bring up some other sort of stuff. On the 1st of August 2019, I found an article that stated Jeffrey Epstein wanted to seed the human race with his DNA by impregnating 20 women at a time. And that's exactly what the article states. Apparently, he said it to multiple people that he wanted to impregnate as many women as he possibly could. Then on August 4th, hundreds of old court documents, which were not released during the 2005 to 2008 period of investigation and court proceedings, were finally released. And we'd like to thank our good friend Mike Cernovich for that, because he did all the legwork for all that sort of stuff. Some of the high-powered people that were on his little black book included Mick Jagger, Tony Blair, and Prince Andrew. They all either flew on one of his planes, were linked to him quite a bit, or done both, and flew to his private island, which has been nicknamed many a times Lolita Island. Mm-hmm. Which I think I just showed you yesterday, Niall. Mm-hmm. If everyone wants to type in Jeffrey Epstein temple, island temple, you see the weirdest, almost religious temple on the face of the earth. People say it's Masonic. People say that it's like a cult that glorifies pedophilia. People say it's a whole bunch of things. I don't know what exactly it is. I couldn't find a straight answer without some sort of weird Jewish conspiracy theory that I'm sure I don't want to talk about on this podcast. But it is fucking weird, and I would, if I had an island, I definitely would have the same thing. For fun.
We're just going to let you hang.
Yeah.
Well, look, and Jeffrey Epstein donated cash to the following politicians: Chuck Schumer, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. He really wasn't particular who he donated.
Democrats and Republicans.
He was very 50-50.
Well, he needs to keep both of them on side.
That's right. So
the elections go through cycles.
He donated a whole bunch of
Democrats get in.
So
Labor
after
gets in, Liberal gets in.
Yeah, exactly right. So after the FBI raided his house the second time, they found a painting of Bill Clinton wearing a blue dress and red heels. Now, did you see
painting?
A painting. Now, did anyone see this picture?
No.
Okay, let me pull it up because it is actually incredible.
Give us a look at old
It's
Billy.
not when he was in college.
No.
This isn't a hazing ritual in college.
No. This is
This is prime Clinton right
this is
here.
Prime Clinton here, and I'm sure that we can find it. So this was in his New Mexico ranch. So they, obviously searched through every single one of his properties, and this is what they found. That's an actual painting that they found at his New Mexico ranch of Bill Clinton in a dress and red heels.
Did Bill know about this?
I'd have to assume so, because Bill Clinton had visited his ranch many a times.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's I'm not gonna lie. Didn't know that. That's yeah. Interesting.
Nice legs.
Wow, good painting. I wonder who painted that. I want to find the artist that painted.
Probably on the back of the painting.
Well, the FBI have it now. Speaking of FBI, the federal judge who was overseeing the Jeffrey Epstein case died in March.
Oh.
Natural causes?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
assume
couldn't find anything about the judge dying.
Yeah.
Just other than he died.
Yeah, he just died. Magic. Yeah.
Couldn't get any more on the causes.
I assume it was some sort of breakdancing
I would
accident.
assume so.
Yeah.
They do that. Federal court.
Yeah, the head spinning thing, yeah.
So the politicians.
What the fuck? Sorry, hang on. Pause. What the hell is that?
Don't judge me, Kieran.
Well, you might die, just like this guy did.
That's right.
Politicians who flew to his island include Bill Richardson, Glenn Dubel, and Jean-Luc Brevel, who's a modeling agent. One was a billionaire and a Mexico governor. There are heaps of logs of Bill Clinton flying on Jeffrey Epstein's jet by himself while he was president, which never happens.
Oh.
If you're the president and you fly anywhere or go anywhere, you take the Secret Service.
No,
Isn't it Air Force One?
If he was by
Or Air Force One.
No.
Yeah.
If he was by himself, if the president's on the plane, that plane then becomes Air Force One.
But without the Secret Service?
Yeah, because the president's on it. That's why it becomes Air Force One.
Never really happens. Trump. Now, if you type in Epstein, it always comes up with Trump for some reason.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, I want to know what's going on. Apparently, Trump flew on his plane once, and only because there was no other way to fly back to New York. And as soon as they found out and that was the only time he ever flew on his plane, he never went to his island. There's no records of it. There's nothing like that. And then as soon as he was convicted, Donald Trump banned him from all his...
Back in 2005.
In 2005. As soon as he found
Oh, no,
out...
2008. Sorry, the conviction.
Well, as soon as they found out he was, 2005, 2006 sort of period, he banned him from any contact ever again. Couldn't stay at hotels, couldn't fly on his plane, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently, Matt Groening flew on his plane too.
Oh,
Just saw an
fuck's
article
sake.
saying that apparently Epstein brought out women for him to lick his feet.
Okay.
Ay, caramba.
Very strange. Very. Apparently, his feet are like horrible and yellow. I'm not even kidding. I read that too. And I'm like, this has got to be fake. And then I looked at 3 or 4 sources, and they all said the same.
Do we have any sketches of this?
So Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
The Eps.
So people going on the plane, that doesn't tell us anything, right?
No.
And it could have been consenting adults on that plane, like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Celebrities having fun. All right.
Yeah.
So, it's this whole children underage stuff.
Well,
that's
so
the problem.
The thing is, he was definitely a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like.
2008 proved, court convicted. Yep.
Yeah.
Great lawyers. Gets off house arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But more thing came.
And then
more things have come
2019 gets arrested
out. Again for the same thing.
Same thing.
This is one of the biggest sex trafficking of underage women.
And there's video evidence of Prince Andrew with this underage girl leaving the house and Prince Andrew opening the door.
Yes.
Still doesn't prove anything.
Doesn't prove anything.
But Prince Andrew is fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I like the fact that...
He's got a bit of explaining to do.
Well, I like the fact that everyone
You
else
can't
is
quite
keeping
spin
low.
it.
Everyone will be keeping low this and that. He, like, the next day, as soon as his article came out, he was talking to the Queen.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Did she fly on the plane?
you never know. No records yet, but there's still so much more to come out of his little black book. So you want to talk about the suicide? Because I know you've been researching the suicide.
I have.
So what do you know about the suicide?
After the first suicide attempt,
Yeah.
they're supposed to change your bedding
Yes.
so that if you attempt it, your bed rips.
Well,
The sheets rip.
Apparently, the prison that he was staying at has been around for like 40 years or something like that. I've got something here about it. So since 1975 it's been around. They've had a 100% success rate of when people are on suicide watch of them not being able to kill themselves in any possible way. And apparently his bed didn't have sheets.
Well, I heard that when he did the suicide, there were sheets.
There wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, yeah. So he came off suicide watch
Yes.
when he committed suicide.
Yes.
And he was supposed to be watched. They're supposed to check them every 30 minutes.
Yes.
And there was a guard that had done a double shift or something like that was on. Someone else who was in there who wasn't actually a prison guard because they were short-staffed. Mm-hmm. And he hadn't been checked on for quite a number of hours.
Well, not only that, the cameras in his room
Stopped
working the exact time that he committed suicide, apparently. Because they were down for maintenance at this point in time. In a freak accident, of course. And apparently the like you said, the guards were falsifying the logs of him being, looked, every half an hour meant to go look. They were just falsifying that and saying, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And this is something interesting.
The conspiracy theory is that there's some powerful people out there that don't want to be associated with him.
Yeah.
So let's make sure he...
Well, apparently 38 minutes before they found him, or before, it happened, like it all happens that, 4chan stated that he was already dead and exactly the way he died.
Really?
Yeah.
You fuck off.
Dead set.
No way.
Yep. It's something that...
4chan. 38 minutes.
38 minutes.
Wow.
38 minutes before that. I'm just trying to find a whole bunch of stuff. Now, look, we're all enjoying ourselves thinking this is one of the greatest and most interesting conspiracy theories of all time. And you know what? People, I love a good conspiracy theory. And I don't believe most of them, but I just like researching and understanding them, this and that. And going, yeah, there's always a little grain of truth behind some of them, apart from Flat Earth, obviously. But
I still think Bigfoot doesn't get enough love. Am I wrong?
Oh, there's so many terrible Bigfoot shows on YouTube. You gotta watch them. But there's definitely something going on with this one here.
I mean, if you were, had $500 million and you got arrested, wouldn't you commit suicide? Your life's over. That's it. You're going to be locked in this jail for the rest of your life.
But that's the thing. I would have thought at this point in time, he's already gotten away with not being in prison for so long. I would just say, yeah, I'd probably just be able to get out. Wouldn't that be the assumption that you would almost make? So look, fun conspiracy theory, and we all love a good conspiracy theory. The FBI there's an FBI document that was released that warns, and this was from Yahoo News, that warns conspiracy theories are a new domestic terrorism threat. And ABC says that anyone who questions the mysterious and expected suicide of Epstein is what? You guessed it, a conspiracy theorist. And yep, so basically what they're trying to say is, the more you believe that this is a conspiracy theory, the more of a threat to the country you live in is. Another really interesting thing is that the hashtag Clinton body count decided to trend on...
What's the hashtag Clinton count? What?
Okay, so hashtag is Clinton body count. So as soon as Epstein died, everyone made this, bit of a conspiracy theory joke sort of thing, saying that, obviously Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton killed Epstein. And everyone hashtagged their things saying, hashtag Clinton body count. Trending on Twitter. Lots of things. not too long after that, it suddenly disappeared from Twitter. Despite the fact that if you clicked on it or searched for it, hundreds and thousands of posts. Completely hidden. And suddenly, Trump conspiracy was the highest one, despite having only 2,000 people talking about it. Incredible. And you can look at the stats. All of America at that point in time, even California, was saying hashtag Clinton body count, and the only state that was actually messaging out Trump something, Trump the counter one, was California.
There you go.
Incredible. And Razor Fist does a fantastic video from it on YouTube. Check that one out. Really interesting. He does a bit of more of a dissection of it. I'm just giving you some cliff notes and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Turch, what do you think happened?
If he did commit suicide, this is the most convenient thing. Look, I put it to Jess. If this was a movie that we watched about a pedophile who goes to prison, this would be like the worst. Like, this would be the laziest writing. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, we don't know what happened because the cameras went out and we falsified logs, and then he committed suicide in that time frame. Like, you would just be like, this is the worst film I've ever seen, ever. And I think the simple fact that everyone's like, nothing, this is all too coincidence.
I feel sorry for the victims.
Of course.
I feel sorry for the victims not getting their day in court. And there are some pretty high, powerful names there. And I think when he got arrested, no doubt they freaked the fuck out.
Of course that they did. But now that he's dead, is the investigation going to continue? And probably not, because they're like, well, he's dead. What can we really do?
Yeah.
And that's the worst part about it, I think. Like, the whole thing has come up to the point in time where they've gone, yep, we've caught him now. We've got him in a safe place. We can keep an eye on him the whole time, this and that. We can convict this guy and find everyone he's associated with, take down this almost pedophile network that he established around himself. And by him committing suicide, it's like, well, he's dead.
I want to
now.
know the visitor logs. Who saw him?
I'm sure that'll never come out.
Who the visitor logs? I couldn't find anything to do with the visitor logs.
I couldn't find anything with the visitor logs either. I was looking for that as well.
Couldn't find anything. No, you're awfully quiet.
You know what? I only talked about this to him yesterday, and this is the first he'd heard about it.
About Epstein?
Yeah.
I heard about, like, the suicide. I'm doing the thing with my fingers right now.
Yeah.
That's the quotation marks.
Thank you, Kieran. Yeah, I didn't know much about him, but yeah, this all seems pretty sus. Didn't you say, like, he had broken bones?
Yes. He had broken bones in his neck and a few other places, which are not consistent with, like, hanging yourself or committing suicide in that way. Like, there was no fan to hang himself from. There was this... there was no height that he could really hang himself from either. There was no bedpost that was high enough. Like, it's very... there's no photos of him in the cell. Like, the homicide squad usually comes in and takes photos of what it is, and then they move the body. There's nothing that's been released like that. It's all just like, oh, yeah, he died.
Just think about who benefits from him dying.
Yeah, that's very
You're a
wise,
terrorist.
Mal. That's very wise.
Oh, shit. God damn it.
See what I mean? This whole podcast has become a terrorist.
Oh, there you go. Turch, Niall.
Kieran.
I've got some stats I want to share with you.
Oh,
some
Jesus.
stats.
I've got some stats.
Amazing.
I've got some hardcore scientific evidence here. Because we like science on this podcast. We support science.
This is another fart thing, isn't it?
Legal weed is linked to higher junk food sales.
You're a
What a story, Mark.
fucking lefty shill over here.
It is common knowledge that smoking marijuana causes cravings for high-calorie snacks. The condition is known as the munchies. Yet, empirical data of the phenomenon and its effect is scarce. So, does getting high cause smokers to consume more junk food? And if so, by how much? Well, researchers have decided to look at this question in California.
Fucking hell, we need more. We need to do our own research.
I've got some stats here for you.
I bet you I can eat more junk food after drinking a lot than a guy that smoked a lot of. That's a test.
Oh, wow.
I bet you I can eat more kebabs after a night out than a guy that sat at home smoking weed.
Chips. Chip sales, after they introduced marijuana becomes legal in America, is up, on average, 8%.
That's good. I don't know what the issue is here.
Biscuits. No, I'm just saying that this is.
It's good.
This is
These
true.
are hardcore stats. Come
These
on,
are
man.
hardcore
Science.
Biscuits are also up 8%.
Yeah.
Ice cream is up 5%. There you
What?
That's amazing. That's an odd choice for a. I would have thought that would be on like burritos.
go.
Yeah,
I
I'm,
couldn't
I'm a
access.
savory man myself.
Yeah.
Couldn't access more because I had to pay for the article.
The quality journalism that we do here. Quality reporting we do here.
There you go. The science is in.
The quality of this podcast has gone up 8%.
UMG, Epstein, to fart jokes.
And don't worry, people. Turch backs up our episodes.
Oh yeah, everything's packed up twice.
Fantastic. That's good. That's all
Thank
good. Yeah, well done.
I think it's time to we wrapped it up. What do you reckon, Kieran?
I think so. Thank you, listeners. It's been a wonderful show.
I would like to thank our lovely guest for coming in. Surprise guest. We didn't realise he was coming until today.
This is
Did
the
like you
last time
yesterday.
I'm ever coming here. I swear to God.
But look, for all you lovely wankers out there, make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, a death threat, or a rant, record it on your phone and email us at weonlydoontakepodcast@gmail.com. Fellas, thank you for another fantastic show. Especially you, Kieran,
Thank you very much.
who's editing this episode.
Oh, and there's going to be a big fart that happens right now. On the edit.
And with that, we will see you all next Thursday. Next Thursday. See you all next Thursday. What did I say?
What was that recording you played last episode of Kieran saying?
Oh.
We record on a Thursday.
Thursday. We released it Thursday. That's the one.
I was dying. You played that so many times.
I have it on my soundboard. Wait.
Thursday. We release it on Thursday. What's that, Kieran? Thursday.
I think I was really drunk.
It must have been
Oh,
pretty
mate.
bad. Oh, I've got it on my soundboard here. I don't know my soundboard connected up though.
You checking if any farts are rumbling? Oh, that's my knee.
That's not working. Wait.
Bored.
Oh yeah. I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. I can give you the clip.